Restorer, redeemer, provider, reliable God. Restorer, redeemer, provider. Welcome everyone to my channel, My Mental Health. My name is Dr. Valeria and I'm your anchor for this channel. Now, in the previous episode, we talked about the importance of mental health. In this episode, we'll be talking about tips of promoting good mental health. Now we have about 8 tips, and I'll be talking about 4 tips in this episode, and then the remaining 4 tips in the next episode. Now, one major tip on how to promote one's mental health is to be active. Get involved in providing solutions to the problems you see in and around your life. Now, there could be solution problems in your place of work, problems at home. Try to be creative, solve the problems around you constructively. Now, get to read books. Books have a way of enlightening you. Books have a way of keeping your brain stimulated too. Now, we also can watch some movies. There's some really educative movies that can help us, especially the children, instead of just watching cartoons and watching all manner of things that wouldn't contribute positively in any way. We could watch educative movies. They would be interesting because it's not just going to be talk, talk, talk. Now, one other thing I would want us to look at is this. Apart from reading and getting involved in movies, trying to provide solutions, try to be creative. If you're someone that loves cooking, try to create new menus, new things, juggle up things, try to make something interesting out of what you have. Now we'll be looking at another tip. Now, this tip is getting enough rest. Some people say, there's so much work to do. We have to survive. We have to hustle. Yes, we have to hustle. We have to survive, but we also have to rest. The brain needs the rest. You need the rest. When you get to rest, your brain is able to cool down, sort of, everything that you have done over the day, the stress gets reduced, and the brain cells have rested and ready for the next day, ready to deliver, ready to accommodate any stress that comes along the way. But if you put your brain under so much pressure, you do not sleep, you do not rest, you discover that at a point you wouldn't be able to even think clearly. You wouldn't be able to proffer solutions to the problems or challenges that come around you. It would be so difficult to be able to react as you ought to, when you ought to. It will be so difficult for you to be able to deliver even in your place of work. You need rest. For an adult, you should have at least 6 hours of sleep. And now there are various ways you can rest, but sleep is the most important form of rest. Now, sometimes you think it's impossible to be able to rest, but then I tell you, you can. What you need to do to be able to create time to rest is find a way to delegate certain activities. You can't do everything yourself. Find a way to delegate some activities, move some activities to the next day. I know some of us, the perfectionists that want to make sure we achieve everything on spot, on time. Give yourself a break. Sometimes you won't be able to achieve all that you want to achieve when you want to achieve it. But then if you're able to achieve 75% of what you want to achieve, I tell you, you've done well. You really have. So find time to rest. Okay? Do find time to rest. Now, another point we're going to be talking about is eat well. It's important for you to eat well. Now, everyone is going to talk about the economic situation, how things have become so expensive and so difficult to get good food now. Yeah, we're all experiencing the same thing, but then we can adjust. Let's go to the cheaper food. We still have cheaper carbohydrates, cheaper proteins, cheaper vitamins and minerals. If you don't have the money to buy the exotic vegetables, buy your ugu, buy your scent leaf, buy your water leaf. They are cheaper than some of the exotic vegetables that we have out there. You can have them, you can buy them, you can use them, and you still get the vitamins and the minerals that you need. For the proteins, you might not be able to buy the milk the way you used to buy it before. You might not be able to, but then eggs are cheaper. You can buy more of eggs. You can buy your beans and use it. You can buy soya beans and make milk out of it and also add that to the cow milk you buy. You could also find a way. You can no longer eat meat, chicken, fine. You can eat fish. You can put lots of crayfish in your soup, in your food. So these are ways you can still get your protein. And for the carbohydrate, you have a variety. Indomie is expensive now. Besides, Indomie doesn't really give much. But then you still have your rice, you still have your yam, you have your gari. You know, you can use this and still get the carbohydrate you need for yourself and your family. So, my dearest, you need to eat well. When you eat well, you boost your immunity and then you're ready to take up the day. You're ready to do all that is expected of you. Now, another thing I would want us to take note of is the fact that apart from eating well, we also have to find a way to connect with others. I know sometimes it looks like it's expensive when you have to go for people's events, you have to dress up, you have to think about what earring to wear, what shoe to wear for the ladies, for the men, how much you're going to spray. Well, if you're not, it's nice to attend events, you get to interact with people and all of that. But if you feel that you don't have enough money to spend in such events and all of that, you can still find ways to interact with people. You can interact with your friends even outside those events. You can interact with your colleagues in your place of work. You can interact with your family members. Make out time. I know there was a time things were so stressful for me, and I felt like I was almost disconnected with my children. So I just decided, okay, you know what? Every month we're gonna have at least 2 days. That's a movie night. And now this movie night, I don't have money to take them to ShopRite or to the cinemas, to Silverbed and the rest of them. No, in my house. Would put on the TV in the sitting room, put off all the lights, get the mat to the floor, get the throw pillows, get our popcorn, get drinks, ice cream, biscuits, and just keep pinching on all of them. And I'll sit down together with my kids on the floor there, and then we'd be watching the movies. And then it was cartoons. I had to join them to watch the cartoons. But then it created a form of bonding with us. I could bond with them that way. And then we all watch the cartoons together and we take our drinks, take our snacks. And then my daughter will say, "Oh, Mom, this is the best movie night ever." Kids can easily be impressed. So you don't have to go spend so much. You must take them to Silverbed. You must take them to the most luxurious place before they can have fun. Kids are so simple. They just need your presence. They want to be able to interact with you. They want to have a relationship with you as their parents. So that's one thing that you would want to pay attention to. Now, another thing I would want us to look at is this. We need to find a way to communicate with each other. Now, one of the major issues we have in most relationships is lack of communication. Now, spouses are unable to communicate with each other. Parents are unable to communicate with their children. You've brought up this type of environment in your home, like you're the conqueror, the lion. So your children, the moment they hear that daddy is coming or mommy is coming, they're taking off. They don't even want to set eyes on you because they're scared that you're going to scold them or spank them or something. You have to find a way to create a balance between parenting and being your children's friend. You can discipline your children, but then they should also be able to rely on you, communicate with you. You should be able to open up to you. But if you make yourself the dictator, it's going to be very difficult. for them to be able to open up to you. And you need that. Now, other things that we could think about doing also is getting ourselves intimated with what's happening in the land where you are. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in the UK, get to know what's happening around you. Listen to the news. Get to know what's going on in your environment. It has a way of also stimulating your brain. You want to think about what to do, how the solutions to whatever problems are happening around can, be achieved. Those are things that you can do. Now, another thing I would want to draw attention to, especially as Nigerians, is for us to be able to communicate with our culture. We have various cultural foods, cultural music, cultural attires, which makes life really interesting. So I think we should also intimate ourselves with our cultures. We have so many cultures in Nigeria. What's your culture? Are you Yoruba? Are you Igbo like me? Are you Hausa? Whatever your culture is, find a way to intimate yourself with your culture. Let it show. Try out your cultural attire sometimes. Try out your cultural food and other cultural foods to not just yours. It makes life interesting. You create something interesting at home. It's no longer boring, you know? So that's one way. Now, the last point I'd like to point out is this: spirituality. The fact that you have a more superior being that looks out for you, that you look up to. As Christians, we have God as the one, our creator, our maker, the one that we look up to, the one who's always there for us, the one who answers our prayers, the one who makes us happy, the one who makes us have so much faith and believe that tomorrow will be better, plays an important role in your mental health. The fact that you're able to believe that there's a supreme being, that there's God. God is there for you. That He's not going to leave you. He's not going to abandon you. Your situation cannot be hopeless if God is there. When you have that kind of faith, that kind of trust, and you're able to hold on to God, it helps you when you're faced with various kinds of challenges. And then you're able to withstand and also overcome them. Now, I hope you were able to gain something from our session this afternoon, and I hope in our next episode we'll be able to sort out the remaining tips on how to promote good mental health. Now, until we see you again in the next episode, do have a blessed day. Thank you.